The year is 2004. IWA Mid-South was running a show in a town near me. Fortunately, there were probably about 15 people in the audience. One of the matches that night featured a young Eddie Kingston, probably about a year and a half or so into his career. So he walks out and he makes it his mission to trash talk every individual person in this cavernous National Guard Armory gym as we're all spread out. And he comes across this one guy wearing a Cubs hat, Cubs shirt, Cubs fanatic, and then he grabs the guy's hat and he proceeds to shove it down the front of his pants. Well, I mean, you can see that Eddie's wearing a singlet underneath, so it's not like it touched anything delicate, and then throws it across the gym. This dude marches over to the other side of the gym, grabs the hat, and then marches right over to Ian Rotten's wife, Patty, who's sitting at the ticket table, and demands Eddie Kingston be fired on the spot. Patty tolerates him for a bit. I think she even offered him a free DVD, which, if you know anything about IWA, you know that free stuff's hard to come by. And eventually she's just like, he's a bad guy, go boo him, get out of my hair. And so this dude goes and he sits back down in his seat, doesn't make a peep the rest of the show, arms crossed. And he's saying something to his friend. Word gets around to the other, dozen people in the crowd. Hey, this guy's gonna, stay after the show and do something to Eddie Kingston. So everybody else kind of bails. They're tearing down after the show. My friends and I decide to hide in a bush right in front of the building. But there's a window there. You can see inside. We figured we can't hang out inside. They probably don't want a crowd in case, this guy gets killed. They tear down the whole deal, the chairs, the ring. And there's this dude sitting cross-armed in the middle of the gym, pouty face, wearing that Cubs hat, waiting for Eddie Kingston. So, it's about an hour 15 later. At one point, Southern Deathmatch wrestler Tank comes outside and he's like, hey guys, what you doing? We inform him, we heard that this guy is waiting to fight Eddie Kingston. And so this giant deathmatch wrestler jumps in the bush with us. And suddenly the locker room door gets, I'm not kidding, kicks it open. And right then the theme from Halloween starts, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, because Tank had gotten a phone call on his phone from Jimmy Rave, and that was his ringtone. That happens right when Eddie Kingston comes out in full Eddie Kingston mode. Who's here to see me? I'm ready for a fight. Drops a bunch of F-bombs, etc. And this dude stands up. He is ready to swing at Eddie Kingston. This thing's going to go down. And then right before they make contact, Mickey Knuckles picks this dude up with one arm and carries him out the front door. And he's like, why the F? Why the F would you hire a guy like this? He's a barbarian. And Mickey goes, because he pisses off people like you.
What a wild call this was. I mean, I'm not playing this call necessarily because Eddie Kingston put a man's hat down his crotch and then threw it across the ring. That's what he does. That's classic heel heat in 2003, maybe, just the aftermath that's going on after the show. Wrestling fans hiding in bushes. Wrestlers hiding in bushes with wrestling fans. Eddie Kingston's theme song going off as Halloween due to Tank's cell phone. And then a man that wants to fight Eddie Kingston and then gets up and goes to face Eddie Kingston. So we know that this guy is tough, is then picked up by one arm by Mickey Knuckles? What is this guy thinking? I'm glad we got our first Eddie Kingston on the Independence call, because after 20 years, I'm sure there's tons of them. The man is a wild man. He doesn't give a shit. He runs his mouth. It's the reason he wasn't a national star for so long, and now it's the reason he is a national star right now, because the guy is true to form. He's as real as it gets. And he's ready to fight the wrestling fan because the wrestling fan wants to fight him. I could see it in Eddie's mind, too. He's like, this guy wants to cost me a job. Telling the promoter you shouldn't book me. Well, he's trying to take food off my table. I'm going to beat the fuck out of him. That's my Eddie Kingston impression. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. There it is. Eddie Kingston versus the world. It did not happen. The Cubs fan was thrown out. That's a great way to get heel heat, I think, though. At least in 2003. I mean, you're not really putting the hat on your penis, like the caller said. There's a singlet in between it. But it stands for, I'm rubbing my hat on your penis. Without actually rubbing his hat on your penis. Great job, Eddie. Great job. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.